Okay guys, so we will now keep going with our project and the login page of the Facebook. Okay, let's navigate to our Xcode. So this is the screen which we have created, which will be looking exactly the same as the original official Facebook app. Okay, so what I would like now to do before we're going to the coding part, you can just run your app and to see approximately how it looks like. So it looks like this if I run it in iPhone 8 Plus Simulator, because the project and the screen is not aligned well. But if we go for the smaller screen, let's say iPhone 8, so definitely it will be looking the same. Why this phenomenon happens? Because for iPhone 8 the screen is larger, and this main storyboard we are using in main storyboard we are using the size proportion for the iPhone 8 screen size. Okay, so I'll close this simulator. We will be concentrating on 8 Plus. Why? Because we want in all the iPhones and iPads and all the screens it to be shown in the proper way. Okay, so what we will do now, so this is now how it looks like on iPhone 8. So let's do alignment of the screen. So I'll start from the cover. So I select the cover on the left hand, because here you will be unable because it's overlaid with the hands.png. I select a cover. I click this button to add a new constraints. I add top, left and right constraints to it. So this means we will stick it to the top with the 8 pixels gap, we will stick it to the left side, we'll stick it to the right side. But what about the bottom? Should it be moving till to the bottom of the screen? In order to fix this height, we will click height. So this means to keep the same height proportion, to keep the same height of this size, and we will click add constraints. Okay, if you don't see here any yellow mark and you don't see here any yellow mark, it means you have done everything correct. In case if you see here some warning icon, so then you will have to rewind it and watch again and to see how I did it. Okay, if there is no errors, we'll go further. We will do the same exactly for the hands. I select hands, and I want, as you remember, hands is having the same proportion, the size attributes as cover. So we will do the same work. So this is hands, this one is hands. You don't do it. I'm just showing it to you. I select hands, or you can select from the left panel. We go to adding constraints, clicking this button. We stick it to the top with the 0 pixels gap. We stick it to the left. We stick it to the right. And what about the bottom? Because if we stick it to the bottom, we can do so, but we will use a more effective way. So it means it will always be sticked to the left, to the top, to the right, and we need to fix the bottom size of it. So in this case I will just save the same height, so it will be now fixed from all over, from all the sides. I click add constraints, so we see that everything is fine, we've done everything in the right way. In case if you see here a yellow icon or here a yellow icon, please rewind this video and redo it again with me. If there is no any errors, we'll go further. Okay, we have done the layout for the cover and for the hands.png. So what we have done, roughly saying, so this is the cover. We have sticked the cover to the left, to the top, and to the right. Let's run it and see the difference. So this is how it gonna look like. So we see that the cover, it has here some white space. We'll just now try to remove it. This can be caused because of the mode we are using. So we select cover, we go to attribute inspector, we have aspect fit, while for hands we're having scale to fill. So here let's try aspect fill. So I would recommend you to get to know of each and single mode, which will extend your knowledge. So in this case we have no options, no issues. So I'll do the same here. I'll use aspect fill, and now we have no issues. If you pay attention to the logo, you see that logo is still on the same place as for the smaller size iPhone. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to work on the alignment of this Facebook icon. So it's quite technical. So I'm giving you now a question. What do you think? How we need to align the Facebook icon according to the alignment? So you have 5 seconds to think about this. Okay, guys. So the Facebook icon must be aligned centrally to the image which is behind of this icon. So it's either a hands image or it is a cover image which is behind. So it must be proportionally centered according to the image which it has behind it. Okay, so in this case you can select your icon, and what do you think? Are we gonna go to add constraints? No, we are not gonna to add constraints, because constraints are sticking the item to certain part of the screen with keeping gaps or without keeping gaps. We will do a little bit different way. So do a single click on your Facebook logo, single click, then hold Control button on your keyboard. Then, while holding the Control button, use left mouse click and drag it to the image which is which is behind, and release it. Then select center horizontally. So once you have selected it to be centered horizontally, in the horizontal way it will be selected. So it means according to the X or horizontal layout, it will be now stick to the center. Now it shows you a red button here and the warning light here. So it means even though we centered it horizontally, but it doesn't have any constraints or any appointment for the vertical appointment. In this case, we do the same but another in for the vertical one. We do a single tap on your Facebook logo, hold Control on your keyboard and drag it with the left mouse click to the object behind and release it. So then we will select center vertically. So, okay, if you paid attention to the yellow marks, it shows that the logo will be resized. Okay, in this case, in order to keep the same width and height, we will now go to the add constraints. Here, width and height, or let's do it in a different way. Don't click here anything. Select the Facebook icon with single tap on it, hold Control and left mouse click, drag it to itself. Drag it to itself and release it. So here we will declare to keep the same width, and we will do the same. Hold Control, left mouse click and drag it to itself and release, and we will keep the same height. So in this case we will here select aspect fill, or we can write scale to fill. So it shows now some warning because initially it's supposed to be here either aspect fill or scale to fill. Okay, I'll go to size inspector here and I will keep the same width, same like height, so 75 pixels. Okay, so we have done this purposely in order for you to make some mistakes, so to show you how to rectify them. So there are two ways of rectifying them. The way number one is when you go here, resolve auto layout issues, you click clear constraints for selected views, which is one. It will delete all the constraints and you can start doing it again. But I will undo it. I will come back to the previous state. Here you can select update constraints. So in this case, Xcode will use its own method to just align it, which is auto alignment, which I do not recommend because Xcode not always gives you the right solution. So I will redo it, undo it again. I will come here, or you can click reset to suggested constraints. Again, Xcode will assign to this object constraints which Xcode thinks are correct, which again I do not recommend you. So I will undo it. Okay, this was way number one to fix your constraint issues. Way number two, you can click this yellow button and here it shows you. You click this one and here you can select update frame, means it will update the frame in it. So when you tell Xcode, okay, do what I'm telling you. So update frame, it means Xcode, do what I'm telling you. Update constraints means Xcode, do what you think is right. So it will now automatically add layouts to it, constraints to it, which again, it's very handy and useful, but not always it can help. So for that purpose, I advise you to understand constraints properly so you can be 100% sure that you're doing everything correct. Okay, so these are the ways. So what I will do, I want to do everything myself. So we will clear all constraints for this logo. Make sure that you have selected only logo. In other way, it will remove all the constraints of all selected views. So clear constraints of the logo. We'll just drag it to be centered like this, and we will do it again. Hold Control on from the Facebook logo with the left mouse click, drag, release it to the object behind it. We select central, let's say horizontally, horizontally, and we're doing the same, and we select center vertically, and we can keep the same width and height. So now it placed this logo in exactly center position with according to the background. Okay, we can run it now, and our logo will be centered exactly. So as we can see now, for the iPhone 8 simulator, everything is shown in the proper way related to the cover. And let's do the same for our text fields.